Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to Ice Age TV, Internal Combustion Engine Age YouTube channel that talks about all my cars and trucks and motorcycles and SUVs, the dogs. Hey, Ice Age TV sticker to show the flag, just like me showing the flag in my shirt. If you look at my new shirt I just got, and email me at iceagetvcomments@gmail.com, and I'll send you a sticker or two. And share the channel so that other people know that you too are supporting the Ice Age. Tuesday morning, to all those that watch me, look at this. Look at my American flag, the American shirt. Wow, and it came from Italy. Got it off Facebook, actually. Got my Chevy hat, the red, white, and blue today after watching the RNC convention last night. Wow, was that a emotional event or not? Wow. Shoo, but hey, good morning to all those that support my channel. Thanks so much for being so kind. And hey, Charles, good to hear your voice. I was really starting to wonder if you were in jail on YouTube. I figured you probably said something, they put you in jail. So I'm glad you're okay. Glad to hear your voice. And you know, it's interesting, he and many of my subscribers claim that they don't get notices of me publishing content, which is such a bummer, because so much effort and work to bring content on a daily basis on my channel, to keep it active, to keep you in the loop. And so here we are, Tuesday morning, perfectly sunny out, hot. It's hot. And yeah, it's hot. It's humid, it's hot. It's what do you expect when it's the middle of July? The weather up here in the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic area, it's a typical weather as I come over. But I tell you what, I ordered a 2 extra large shirt. The Italians must not be that big. I thought they were big people. Anyways, this shirt is tight as hell. I don't feel, it's crazy. I got 3 shirts of them. The shirt I wore last night was perfectly fit. This shirt here, it really makes me look like a pork chop. I like the colors and the theme and everything, but it's just so damn tight, and it's a 2 extra large. What's that all about? Yeah, just eat less, drink less, and you'd fit in that shirt better, Mr. Iceman. So let's get the dogs in here as we start the day. And once again, I know there's people out there that don't give 2 rats' ass about the damn politics to the degree that watch my channel. And then I do know there's others that do give a rat's ass about the politics. And so I think a lot of my subscribers are more leaning towards one party than the other. But whatever, you know, it's all about sharing the fun on Ice Age TV of all my addictions. So you don't have to be one party affiliate to kind of relate with the challenges of yet wanting something else over and over again, like I do in my life. But the Republican National Convention last night, it was a great thing. I didn't even start watching it till late in the evening, and it was pretty. It just was very emotional, just because of what could have possibly played out in yesterday's, or I should say, was it Saturday? Yes, Saturday evening's events. Wow. Hard to believe that was Saturday evening and Sunday, Monday. And what's really interesting is something that no one has talked about, and one of my Facebook followers actually took my idea, believe it or not, and ran with it. And so now, let me see if I can find it to see what he did. So this is interesting of what he did. So I last night posted, he even admitted it, so this is pretty good. So I'm going to put it right here. How did the shooter know the building he chose wouldn't be under heavy security? You have to truly wonder who shared this info to help him. So I said that last night, and actually Sean said, hey, I borrowed from you on the legend. Saying everything's not sufficient, very suspicious. So he actually recognized that I made that comment. But that's the thing. You just have to wonder, how did that young kid know that building would be a free-for-all for him to get on that building and set up shop to try to take out Trump? You really have to wonder. I mean, come on. And I'm sure some people argue, well, you know, that kid just probably lucked out and got in that building. But at the same time, there's just so many witnesses that say that, hey, man, you know, so many witnesses that claim they were yelling out to the police and the others around that there's this kid getting on top of the building with a rifle. So, you know, all the details, I'm not sure on that. But once again, you have to say to yourself, how did that kid know that to take that building and he'd have access to that building and get up on top of it? I mean, how do you get on top of it? Did he have a ladder? I don't even know. I'm just not glued to TV to watch every fine detail of every freaking media journalist out there telling you what you should think and shouldn't think. But here's the whole point of this conversation. What is the number one word of the day? Yesterday was kind of lame. It was the hair conversations. It was because I just said, that Trump by a hair didn't get killed. And then just talked a little about hair, but talked about a lot of other things too. Here's my truck. It's still charging. Wow. I plugged this in yesterday evening about 6 o'clock. I did a lot of miles yesterday. And that just shows you, if you're not on the pro charging system and you work out of this truck and you're driving like I drove yesterday, 250 miles. This really is about a 260 mile range truck because it averages about 2 miles per kilowatt on a 131 kilowatt battery. So it's easy math. That's 262 miles. So I drained that thing down. And so here I am on just a regular 220 power supply. And you can see it's right now like 8:30 in the morning. So you're now at 12, 14, you're at 14 hours of charging. And it's still not all the way charged up. And today I may do another 250 mile day. So, but here's the thing. Yesterday was the hair conversations. Yeah. What better word could I pick today than the word security? What have you heard if you're watching a news media outlet over and over and over again? Security. The Secret Service wasn't doing their security job right. All the people involved in Trump's, security detail, where was everybody, right? And so I thought to myself, yes, the key word today is security. And that's huge because security goes, Social Security. I mean, there's one word of security, but the security word is massive in our world and mankind because if you look at relationships, the biggest thing you hear in a relationship is the security, that you and that other person feel good about each other and you trust each other. And isn't that what security is all about, is trust? And that's the number one thing. Once again, I think that this word is so appropriate for just last night me watching the Republican National Convention. They picked J.D. Vance. And if you know who J.D. Vance is, this is a young guy that was very critical of Donald Trump. He even wrote a book. He used to trash Donald Trump. He was never a Donald Trump guy. It's interesting how so many people that trash Trump, but then they get to know him more on a personal level, seem to support him more as time progresses. So even for me, I read about J.D. Vance, the Ohio senator, here about a week ago because they were speculating he was going to be the VP pick. And so for me, I read a lot about him and got more in-depth detail. Very astute individual, very accomplished young guy. But he's pretty hard. He's in some ways pretty kind of a set guy in his ways. So it'll be very interesting to see how relationship, should Donald Trump be elected, reelected, how this guy J.D. Vance intertwines in the Trump's administration. And sincerely, is this more about the future? That's what you have to really say to yourself. Is this guy the next guy in line to be the next president of this country? Should he get the VP nomination with Trump? We'll see how this guy, it opens a door, I think, to maybe bring back some people got frustrated with Trump, including myself. I mean, I'll tell you straight up, after that January 6th event, I became very frustrated with Trump because of all the people that went to jail, and I just felt like he wasn't there trying to help them. So I kind of got a bad taste in my mouth from that aspect. But we all know if Trump was to be elected, I mean, one thing's for sure, there's a good 1,000+ people that are only hoping and praying that Donald Trump gets elected, because he'll pardon those people and get these people out of prison and get their life back together. So on security, yeah, come on. If this isn't just so well said this morning, being that the biggest conversation you heard from Saturday evening, Sunday, Monday, and it'll be ongoing. It's all the security detail. It's all about the FBI, the CIA will be involved, the Secret Service. The list goes on and on and on. And what played out, just about played out there on Saturday evening. And they don't even know. They've retrieved this guy, Crook. Is that his name? Crooks? Like Thomas Matthew or Matthew Thomas Crooks. Once again, I'm not glued to the TV, so I can't do it. I can't do it. I was out in the pool last night till close to like 9 o'clock. And had a very busy day yesterday and have a very busy day today as well. And so the Crooks guy, what an appropriate name, this kid that, did what he did, they're now digging up they got his cell phone records. They sent it down to Quantico or wherever right away to try to hack it and get into it. They're just not seeing much. They're just, it's just not adding up what's going on. So you have to really kind of wonder. And here's the other thing. For his dad, that's his dad's gun. So what are the laws in Pennsylvania about him taking his father's gun and trying to kill, well, he did kill an individual, and 2 others are critical as far as I know. So what is the implications for the father? Is the father going to be, I don't know. I don't know all the language. Others probably do. So, and that's the thing. You go back to guns. Why do people buy guns? And why has there been such a run-up since Joe Biden? I know these stories that when Obama was elected, the gun sales in this country went through the roof. When Trump was elected, the gun sales actually slowed down. I'm not lying to you about that. My brother has a good friend that owned a gun shop, and he had a heyday. He had 8 years of heyday years under Obama of selling guns down there in Florida, Tampa, Florida. And then once Trump got elected, it disappeared. It's like the business was a third or half of what it used to be. So, once again, you have to say to yourself, why do people go buy guns? Why do people have guns? Why are women more than ever wanting to own a gun and learn how to shoot guns? It's because they feel like that's a security for them because it's a no-brainer. You as an individual, if you meet some 6'10" guy, 6'8" guy that wants to beat the crap out of you, and you're 5'2", and you're a woman that weighs 102 pounds, yeah, it's not going to be a pretty picture. Even for us guys, you meet some thug that's played sports throughout his whole life or been at the gym most of his life, and he doesn't like you, it's not going to be a pretty picture for you, especially as you get older in life. So people have guns. I mean, it'd be interesting to know how many people have guns in their cars. And keep in mind, like where I live, if you take a gun into D.C., you're in big trouble. I mean, if you get pulled over and they find a gun in your car, it's radical stuff. In Maryland, Virginia, I mean, you can always use the excuse you're going from state to state or you're going to go to the gun range or something, but technically you're not supposed to be carrying a gun unless you have a CC, a concealed carry permit. And then that's, and then like Florida, they have open carry, concealed carry, Tennessee. But here in Virginia, you actually can have open carry, but the police will get after you because I just tell you, people just aren't used to seeing people walk around with, like Texas, with people having a gun strapped to their side of their belt or their pants. It just doesn't, it just doesn't flow here, even though we're an open carry state. But once again, it's the security. People have ammunition and guns because they are fearful that we're living in times that they're not so sure of who's your friend and who's not your friend. And that's what kind of is the driving thing of security. But then you go to the cars. So once again, it's all trying to keep the cars and the trucks and the motorcycles the theme of my channel. And once again, I sometimes spend a little more time politically talking to a degree, but I try to keep it entertaining as best I can. And what's the number one thing that is going on in cars is the security of cars. Is the cars have the tracking capability, the cars have the remote access through your phone to lock it, unlock it. It actually alerts you the car has been broken into. What's the biggest challenge of the Dodge Mopar brand is the security, that these things are so easily stolen, so easily hacked and broken into. And that's a huge problem. You go to the Ram truck, same thing. A lot of people that have watched my channel and talking to others, is you buy these Mopar products and you expose them to the general public in general public parking spaces. And even it has to be that. You live in a condo, even a house, and someone's going to show up and steal your pride and joy. And then if you watch my channel, you'll witness that up there at Koons Baltimore Ford, their security lapsed big time when some guys rolled into their dealership to steal a Trackhawk right out in front of the, right in the body shops, right there in the body shop that was getting repaired. When I was so close to looking at that car, and had I gone in one day before, I probably would have ended up owning that Trackhawk. And now, the general sales manager, Mark up there, he has no interest to buy ever another Jeep Trackhawk ever again. Now, if the guy shows up to trade it for another car, he'll buy one, but to go into the auctions, he wants nothing to do with that Jeep Trackhawk because it's like the second one that's been stolen from him. It's just such a easy vehicle to steal per se, I guess, but any vehicle is stealable. I think everybody can kind of agree to that, but that's the biggest thing for all of us that have our nice cars and trucks and motorcycles. It's a security, and I'm sure many out there will all agree that would you go park your car in a certain area of town or a certain event, and then that goes just to the basic going to the grocery store, and do you feel you have security of your car that can ding in the side of it when you go park it? There's these stories. You go park your car, and as your pride and joy, park out in the middle of the parking lot, and some jerk pulls up next to you, and in that car, they block you in somehow. Here we are. We had really heavy rains yesterday afternoon, real good storm. It was really good. It kind of cleaned off a lot of my cars and my toys and all, and we do need rain here. And it didn't last long, probably about a 30-minute rain, but it's a good soaking, and so that was nice. Kind of just cleaned up the air and cleaned things off. Just a nice, fresh, heavy rain, thunderstorms. All the dogs are freaking out. And that would actually be not a bad thing to have that roll through on a regular basis. And then it cooled things down for a while. And so the security, the well-being, that's what it's all about. And that's what's going on more than ever. I mean, if you kind of look back where we are in this country right now, do you feel that we are better secured today than we were previously? And that gets into the wars. We're in the wars of the world right now with Ukraine, Russia, Israel, Hamas, Palestinians. Yeah, so how secure do you feel about our country's well-being? But here's the biggest thing, is which my whole channel revolves on a never-ending basis, is how secure do you feel about the future of the ICE age, the internal combustion engine age, versus the EV age? And I think that's why it's so important that we just get a change of administration in our country, because this EV age thing needs to be, it just needs to be slowed down. It's going too fast, in my view. It's getting too radical too quickly. And I just think when mankind goes too quick, in the end, that's the biggest thing. As well as I do, you hear the flaws of mankind building things, designing things, that Boeing, look at Boeing. What's Boeing's biggest challenge? It's the security of their airplanes, which is being disclosed on how they didn't really take the proper steps to build their airplanes. And sure, that's kind of vague in that conversation, but it's about the security and well-being of mankind making things. And when it's rushed, you have to sometimes say to yourself, well, not so sure that was a great idea to rush that project, because you didn't think it through and you've made mistakes, which then jeopardizes the security and safety and well-being of what you design. So for us patriots, I think it's more important than ever that we all kind of really get together and say, hey, look, this city administration, the security of this country, I feel, is not as great as it was, and it's debatable. I'm sure people argue about that, but you have to realize that we're in two wars. We really are in two wars. And I was reading a lot about the China-Russia relationship with Xi and Putin. Xi, correct me if I'm wrong, but the Xi, the president of China, and Putin, I think the Xi means Xi. Xi and Putin, they have a pretty good, strong relationship with one another because they despise the Democrat democratic views, or I should say the democratic America, or I don't know if that's really the right word, but I guess you should say that they despise the Western policies and views and ideas and ideology, and the same with Russia, because it comes from the war, World War II, and it comes from Europe, and so they've been in some ways pushed to the side because they don't agree with the European and Western views. And so for Russia and China, they have a very strong relationship that feed each other, where Russia's feeding China with more advanced military technology, then China's is buying all Russia's oil and energy to keep its the funding of its own war against Ukraine, and as well as the world, their goal is to be the superpowers of the world, which China is adamantly going after, and it's the security of our country for the future is very challenging, because we do have Biden really wanting to clamp down on the green agenda capability of China bringing stuff here, but also I think Trump would be kind of in that same position as well. But I don't think he's going to be hammering the green agenda as much as Joe Biden does. So that may simmer things down a little bit, because they see that Trump's still the good old boy that wants to still let the ice age prevail, and it doesn't have to get so radical on this green agenda of trying to control the future, which that's what this sitting administration and Joe Biden is doing, is he truly wants to pass laws and bills that will have direct impact to China's well-being financially and globally. And so, which isn't good. It's creating friction, which in the end, what's the security of our own well-being of our country based on the fact that we're irritating other bigger powers to be. And then, as we know, we're over there in the Taiwan Pacific Sea or whatever that's trying to set up shop to protect Taiwan, and that's pissing China off. And meanwhile, Russia is trying to set up, China's already trying to set up shop in Cuba, and Russia is not going to give up. The Ukraine war, I cannot see Zelensky eventually have to raise his hand. I just can't see it. I think you're talking about like the Afghanistan war, where it just goes on for a decade, and what comes from it in the end. And people know that story. If you know how Afghanistan war has been going on for probably 30, 40, 50 years. Correct me if I'm wrong, but no way, man. Russia was over in Afghanistan way before we got there, and we spent a good, 10, 12 years over there? To what? To what in the end we left? What a waste of money. And that's the thing, it's the security. And what makes all the money in our country is the defense contractors, the ammunition suppliers, and I've talked about this numerous times on my channel, that these companies and people, they're having a heyday under Joe Biden. So once again, I know a lot of people like, why would you vote for Joe Biden? Why would you support this administration? Well, I'm going to tell you straight up. If you're in the defense contract business, if you're in the ammunition business, if you're in the green agenda business, you're going to want to keep Joe Biden in power, because he's enriching you like never seen. So, and of course, you're going to have all the ideology of those who feel like this Biden administration has such a better view of where this country's going. But for us, others that sit back and look at where we are and where we're going, we just don't have that security feeling. And look what's going on to people that trying to live in homes. Right now, there's a whole Wall Street Journal article in great depth that talks about all the people that are renting homes are being evicted. And people that own homes are being evicted because rents have gone up by 30% since 2020. So it's a huge, they say that the eviction of rentals in the like the south, I should say the western area, like Phoenix and Las Vegas and other parts of the western or the Sun Belt area, they say there's a 35% increase in court filings of evicting people that are renting homes. So how do you as an individual, I mean, you think about in our life, the biggest thing that you relate with in security for your well-being is you want to have shelter. I mean, not only do you need food, but it is so crucial for you as an individual that you want to have shelter. You want to feel like you can live in your own environment and you're safe. I mean, who doesn't know stories if you go live in an apartment and you're living on the wrong side of town, you don't feel good in that environment. So for people, the number one thing they want is they want security and safety of where they live. And sadly, there's so many people right now that are losing that. They're losing their availability, their affordability to be able to live. And it's nothing new, so it's not like this hasn't been going on. But with the article saying that it's at a higher rate in modern times. The security of your transportation, that's a whole other thing. You know, these vehicles resonate back to you and I, like Charles, who reached out to me, his truck was having wheel bearing problems. Well, for him, I'm sure the security of going on a road trip or going somewhere, he probably wasn't that excited about that because he knew he had that truck that's maybe not going to be that secure to on a long road trip. And that's, who doesn't know these stories that you get on these summer road trips? And what's the biggest, mocking of Harley product is, oh, you're going to take a Harley Davidson across the country? Yeah, good luck. Good thing there's a lot of Harley dealers out there because it's going to break down half the time. It won't be a very secure vehicle. Look at the Honda Goldwing. Somebody tell you along, Honda Goldwing, yeah, you'll be able to go all over the world in that thing, but a Harley Davidson, not so much. It's a security factor of how you feel riding around your car, your truck, your motorcycle. Then when it comes to like towing, like I had that white Ram 3500 and I towed with that to Tennessee, and that was a high mileage truck. And even for me, I mean, not radically high miles, but even to me, I was like, how's this truck going to handle? And is it really not going to have an issue on the road? Because I don't really own many high mileage vehicles. Am I going to find out that, the bearing goes out in that truck? Because now I'm kind of putting in a little bit more of its working use. And do you feel secure about committing to do that? And once again, the cars, your home, your relationship, these are all things that, wrap up into you when you get out of bed in the morning. Do you feel secure? And then for the people that you work for, I mean, who doesn't have the feeling that you work in a company or have a position? How secure is that position? Do you feel like new management comes in and then you may be jeopardized? I'm sure there's many stories that people could share that, I know of somebody here recently that lost their job to a person that they trained. Who hasn't heard these stories? That they bring a new person in to replace you. And then they want you to train this person to replace you. But it's going to be okay, and they're just going to put you somewhere else where they just escort you out the door. So the people that are around you, the leadership, and that's the thing. Where we are today in our country more than ever, come on. To think that Joe Biden is the leader of our country, and you think that this is the guy you're going to look for the security, the future of the well-being. I know most here will be like, you can't see it. And we all know that in that earpiece in his ear is Barack Obama or Valerie Jarrett or whoever is behind the scenes is whispering in his ear on what to say and what to do. So he's not self-sufficient. Joe Biden is not the individual for the future of this country. And here's the thing, put somebody else in place of him. Come on, just bring somebody bigger and badder than Trump and bigger and badder than Joe Biden. What's wrong with that idea? What's wrong with bringing a different personality to the Democratic Party that gives the country more of a security feeling? The only reason I'm saying that is be open-minded to, okay, who else can secure our country? What's the number one conversation every day of a freaking life? It's the illegal immigration. It's to secure the borders. It's a security. It's for those out there that feel like we're being invaded by others that are trying to overtake our country. And if you're, we're already seeing that the illegals in some cities and demographic areas get favoritism to the governing bodies to give them security. The security is money. Security is food and shelter. That's why they're coming here. But it's at the expense of others that are losing that. And that's a whole other conversation that gets deep and heavy, which I'm not going to even go down that. And I got a very, very busy day. A lot of driving, a lot of riding. And I got my new guy, Brian, who's really loving his job that's come to work for me. And I know he's going to be here any minute. And then this other thing is, it's a never-ending, ongoing conversations. Yesterday, if you watched my channel, and I said to you that I showed how this guy posted a video And within 7 minutes time, he had like 900 views. And I think to myself, wow, how does that work? And then I thought to myself, wonder when the comments start posting on his channel. And once again, it's just me that never is. I'm always intrigued to see other YouTubers, how they're outdoing me. So the other day, yesterday, I was talking about how in 7 minutes time, this guy had 901 views. What I wish I would have done though, I wish I would have seen the comments. So if this guy posted a video and 7 minutes later I started seeing comments, which I don't know, I didn't do that, but just for those out there that kind of watch other YouTubers and stuff. So if this guy would have had, let's just say 50 comments or 25 comments, 7 minutes after he posted a video that's 17 minutes long, how the hell would anybody know what this guy's talking about? I mean, so you're saying 7 minutes into the conversation, this whole story, that guy YouTuber. So to me, it's just, I know it's old news, but the whole point is it's just a never ending. I scratch my head on how these guys that just run their mouth of just the same rhetoric day in, day out of the country's coming to an end. And the used car guy is saying that the repo crisis is beyond believable and beyond. And so there you go. I mean, think about you as a person in this country right now, how good you feel 4 years later of what's going on in our country. And everybody's losing their car, everybody's losing their house. I mean, you just start going through the list of what's going on, and you have to say to yourself, how secure, sincerely, how secure do you feel about the future of where we are under this city administration? And how many people are going to actually, so here it is right here. Biggest car repo crisis in the history is happening right now. So this guy right here claims that the repo is through the roof. I mean, once again, is anybody out there seeing this stuff? I mean, sincerely, can somebody reach out to me and say, I have a personal friend that's in the repo business? I told you down in Florida, they told me it's crazy. But does anybody out there have any friends that have lost their car, their house, their job, or in dire straits? And anybody share these stories? Nobody does. Nobody on my channel ever reaches out. I mean, I hear, well, things are tough. I just hear vague comments. But do you actually have friends that are family or workers that have lost their cars and have been evicted from their house? I mean, do you have these real stories? What's going on? I mean, come on. I mean, I don't disagree with all the inflation, all the expenses, all the things that are going on unraveling. And how much longer can the media machine hide all this stuff? I mean, sincerely, how much longer can the security of the well-being of our country be presented to so many that think that everything's just okay? Yeah, I mean, that for the most part, the challenge we have right now, the divisions of our country right now, as you being one party versus the other party or middle down the road, that you feel like more than ever what you're hearing and seeing, it just doesn't add up. But everything's okay. And as like one of my subscribers says, just keep drinking the Kool-Aid. I mean, sincerely. All right, that's it. I'm done. It's interesting. The Ford Mustang GTD that I went through a hell of a interview process, that I submitted back like in May, I think, maybe April. In July, my understanding is by the end of July, the applicants will get notice if you qualified or you didn't. Yeah, how even if I did qualify, yeah, how the hell am I going to pull that off? I have no idea, man. Yeah, what do I do next, right? What's the next purchase? Or what do I get rid of next? One of my newer subscribers reached out, and he's like, you just have way too much stuff. You just have way too much stuff. You need to get rid of all that stuff. And then the comment was, I just really can't follow what you're saying. I was like, wow. Okay. Well, anyways, yeah, so get rid of all my stuff, And here's the thing. I was saying to myself last night in the pool. So I do the raffle. I just make, I'm the type of guy that I have gotten rid of everything, and I've gotten everything back. I have thought to myself, my voice is terrible. I haven't had any water. I'm drinking coffee. Sorry about that. But here's the thing. I just have a raffle on everything I own. And as long as the payoff is met, the guy that has the winning ticket, he gets the Bronco. The guy that has the winning ticket gets the race truck. The guy that has the winning ticket gets the Ram TRX. So I just literally get rid of everything. I sell everything. I'm just down to like a few cars. Yeah, I mean, part of me is like, yeah, I wonder how much my channel would get attention if I said I am giving away everything I own of all these freaking material things. Because so many people reach out to me that they think it's a separation of my relationship with my wife or family, and it's like, yeah, whatever. I've been doing this my whole life. I've had material things on my whole life, and I am who I am. But the whole point is, okay, so what? All right, so what? The race truck goes away. You don't think I can go buy another one of these down the road and make one? I just don't get it how people get attached. So yeah, I'd have to get a professional individual for tax reasons, how to handle all this. But then I just start doing, every week a raffle on every vehicle I have until this will be like the Mr. Beast channel, until I have nothing in my shop. Then I walk in this shop, everything's gone. And this is back to really when I first built this barn and I just had a few vehicles and nothing was sitting in here besides my 1998 260 Sonic that I had custom built with a 500 horsepower race motor in it. We did 80 miles an hour. Yes, I made sure this barn was tall enough on this second level so my boat could fit in this. I just have a boat sitting right here. That was back in 2002, 2003. And so anyways, whole point is people out there reach out all the time, so you got to raffle your stuff off. So yeah, you buy a ticket, the more money you spend, the more tickets you get. And once it gets to the threshold to equal the payoff on the vehicle, or in some instances, I would feel like I want more money. So like when I give up the Camaro Z28, ooh, I don't know. That would be one that I would be like, nah, not so much. I don't know. A few things here I'd be like, nah, I just ain't gonna part with that because that's not easy to replace. But other things, for the most part, are. So ideas. Then I just get rid of all this damn debt. And then I walk into my shop, and where's my YouTube channel go? Well, then people say, well, then you start all over again. We have to watch you go buy 20, 30 vehicles in 1 year. So it'd be a time frame of everything goes away, and then cha-ching comes back, cha-ching comes back, cha-ching, yeah, whatever. All right, everybody, but does that make you feel secure? Owning your cars, your house, if they're all paid off, it does. If you have debt on them, not so much. So everybody, thanks so much for watching my channel. Kiefer says goodbye. He's getting me more of the kind of family dog. Brian is now the guard dog for my daughter Julia, and it's incredible how my daughter does say that with Brian being with her, huge difference of the guys wanting to come up and talk to her when she's out in the field, which I knew that. I knew that would be the case. That's why I got Mr. Kiefer here. But right now, he's at home with me, and he stays in the house. And speaking of the devil, here comes Brian right now to get ready for work, and we got to get to work. So I told Julia this morning, tell Brian he's the dog replacement. How do you think he'll feel? Yeah, the good old bees, carpenter bees, they've sewed up actually, so they're gonna get their little fun. They're gonna leave. All right, that's it. As always, thanks for watching my channel, and have a great day. Stay secure, stay safe, and God bless.